President recording the meeting, you must notify the co-chair, which is being recorded. We'll do a roll call.
Ed Berlin,
Here.
Karen Benson,
Here.
Ellen Boyer,
Here.
Ann Dillon, Tim Farrell,
Here.
Amy Moscartola,
Here.
Fern Smith,
Here.
Jean Wall.
Here.
Okay, we have the minutes for July 7th, 2022. Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
With a change?
Yeah, we changed it, Chair.
Okay.
I think it's Laura Phelps, not Laura Scott.
It is, that was my mistake. I have corrected that already.
And then I just had a question. There was at one place it said, expecting a sizable mitigation from Eversource, which then goes into contingency budget. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's correct.
I didn't recall that. Okay,
That was at the
Thank
very
you.
end, right? He did say that.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other questions? If not, all in favor?
Sorry, who seconded?
Oh, who seconded? Yeah, friendly amendment. Was it friendly amendment? Seconded by Fern.
Thank you.
All in favor? Abstentions?
I think I have to abstain because I wasn't there, is that correct?
You can.
You can, it's
You don't have to.
not required,
Not
all you're
required.
doing is voting on what's in front of you.
But
That's a myth.
Sure.
Never done it.
Okay, update from Dave Walsh.
You want an update? Where do you want me to start?
Wherever you'd like to start.
Still waiting on Rick. We're making some pretty good progress over there. I don't know if you've been by, but glass is going in. So glass is going in along the, all of the monitor glass is in on the roof, so we have a completely tight roof. Looks awesome. The only real major things left on the roof are the panels on the side of the monitors, and we're expecting those next week. So they'll start on those. They've insulated the monitors, so they're ready to receive the paneling on the side. They'll start insulating the exterior of the building on the panel side first. We'll wait on the brick to show up.
So that's the side closest.
That's the side closest to the library, the existing library. So on the inside of the building, all of the rooms are framed. The electrician's running all of his circuits and his branch circuitry. The plumber's just about done with rough plumbing. The mechanical ductwork's about 80% in, and they've started to work on the VRF tubing, which is the copper tubing that provides the ability for the gas to get in and out for the condensers. The glazers have put in, if I had to guess, probably 90% of the frames that are not curtain wall being, if you look at the building, there's two major sections. There's a curtain wall here and a curtain wall there. Those two curtain walls will be the last to go in. Materials arriving shortly, and we will be installing that last. The waterproof, dam-proof is completed. The building's gray. It's no longer purple. And we're doing pretty good. I mean, it looks really good. The one, if you recall, 2 months ago, we talked about the retaining wall in the back. The retaining wall is built. There's a section of the retaining wall we cannot finish. I think I touched on it last month because there's an electric manhole that used to serve the lights that are no longer existing. But the electric manhole is owned by the electric company. We got a date of the 15th of August for them to come out and de-energize that. As soon as they de-energize that, we'll pull that manhole out and finish the wall and final grade the parking lot and pave. So I'm guessing sometime around early September we'll have a paved parking lot. So it'll look totally different with a paved parking lot. So,
Parking lot is still part of the construction site, so it's really not available for public parking, correct?
yes, not unless you drive through a fence. The parking lot won't be open until the day we get the building. So that's where we are on that from changes standpoint, we sent you out the PCO log. I think I told you that I thought there'd be 60 PCOs on this project before we were finished. We're at number 34 to date. Most of them have been resolved, but some of them have not. And change order number 2 is worth about $81,118. And that is all the items that are colored like a light brown,
Like your truck.
like my truck. That is my truck color right there. Overall, from the errors and omissions, documentation and emissions were at 0.25%, a quarter of a percent, which is tremendous. We're at 0.44% for unknowns. Almost all of that is the unsuitable soils we talked about 4 months ago. And 0.95% is owner-agreed scope changes, meaning that, let's do the wall, let's do this, let's do that. So those are owner-agreed changes. Overall, we're looking at 1.63%, which is still unbelievably low, but the 0.25 is really something that you should all be proud of. Budget-wise, I've got a couple of changes to the budget I want to talk to you guys about. You approved 2 purchase orders 2 months ago. One purchase order was for the RFID system for all the books, and one purchase order was for the automated material sorter. The automated material sorter contract came in, and the terms of the contract are too erroneous for us to have the material sorter. So we're asking the material sorter not be purchased, because the annual operating cost of the material sorter is not what was advertised when we were planning on it. So rather than spend the money on the material sorter, we'd rather just not have it and, sort the books manually like we've been doing for 100 years. The room's big enough to do that, and we'll save the same amount of money that you're spending on the sorter, you'll spend over the next 7 years on just the software and maintenance of the sorter. And the sorter is only guaranteed for 11 years. So once we get into the details, which is why we, you do the purchase order comes back with a contract, we go through the contract, we recommend that we rescind that and not put the material sorter in. So that is something that I'm requesting that we do.
And this, and I've talked to the staff at the library is on board and believe that this is the best course of action. It's not only savings to the budget for the construction of the building and FF&E, it's savings to the operating budget as well.
Right.
Because we won't need to pay, the city won't need to be paying the
$20,000 a year
maintenance contract.
maintenance
And
contract.
it's not, so an example of value engineering where the value of this piece of equipment
Isn't there?
isn't there. So,
And it won't be a burden on the staff to do this.
No, actually, I read the contract and I put together my thoughts, and then I tasked a more detailed research project to several staff members. And it was their conclusion as well that it's not the right direction for the field to go at this time. So,
But you get up to fewer items, like since more loans are now electronic and.
It's more the limitations of the system that we weren't really aware of. It won't handle any book that's too big, that's too
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of reasons for it. So a few libraries in Eastern Mass have put this exact same system in, and we're all excited about it in the beginning. After a few months or a year, they weren't so excited and thought it was not worth the capital investment. And we have, since day one, have tried to guard every dollar on this project. And, you know, I'm all for technology. This library's going to have unbelievable technology. And the RFID that we're putting in is going to take you, you know, from the Dewey Decimal System to the 21st century. So, I mean, I think that we're there. We're just not going to have the automated sorter, which we do the sorting by hand. And I think that you know, we were having a hard time sleeping, thinking that we were going to spend, you know, $147,000 on a sorter that then needed $20,000 a year on maintenance. It just seemed too much. You know,
Unless it was going to save
Yeah.
the city in the long run. It's determined.
Right, and, you know, we all know what happens when budgets get tight. You know, the first thing they cut is the senior center and the library. So, you know, $20,000, we wouldn't be able to afford to maintain it anyway, so it's better to have people that are serving the people there anyhow. So, we're gonna ask you to rescind that, and that's really it. With regard to anything that's really crazy coming at us, we're still working on the easement from the Eversource. They're well aware that we're going to need power, and they're working on this. Obviously, they're disconnecting the existing manhole, which is positive. We have we had one claim come in from one of the file sub-bidders looking for a material increase. Doesn't work that way with regard to public construction. Your bid is your bid, just because prices went up. It's not my fault. The prices went up. They bid it knowing that the project's a 10-month, 12-month, 14-month project, and that they're at month 8, they price it in. So it's not uncommon, especially during these inflationary times, for us to get claims that we have to reject and fight. This is one that we'll reject and fight. It's not a lot of money, but it's the principle. If I said yes to $3,100, I would have the electrician down looking for $29 million for copper, and you know, on and on and on the bill. So that's really it. I mean, I don't have any bad news. Again,
Well, what's the brick situation? When are we getting these? That's bad.
that's not, the brick's not bad news. I'll tell you why the brick's not bad news. So, we would have liked to have had the brick firm, to be honest with you. But to be honest with you, the way the window system works, we're actually more excited that we're putting the brick around the window frames as opposed to putting the window frames in the brick. It kind of works out. The architect's happy about it. The brick is actually being made. We've got confirmation. We've got our slot. I can't tell you the exact date it will come because they'll probably wait for all of it to be made and not send it in shipments because they'll mix up the brick so that any discolorations are spread throughout the lot. That's normally what they do. So it's not hindering us in any way, shape, or form. It just looks, it looks bad.
As long as it's
but
not delaying.
It's not delaying.
Okay.
It's not costing anyone any money. It's just, step 5 is going to be done after step 13. We went from 4 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. And then it is what it is. If I thought it was a problem, Gene will tell me, bring it up. We have a problem.
Right.
But we don't have a problem.
At what point will we have a problem? Is it months away from now?
If we don't have the brick, if we didn't have the brick by November 1st, I'd be a little concerned.
That's fair.
Where's it coming from? Where's it being manufactured?
I think it's being manufactured in Connecticut. So, but I'd have to double check that. That's I think. So that might be the rep. But you got a rep. The rep gets it from them.
Yeah.
Our rep sold our brick. So.
Get a new rep.
I honestly think the file sub-bidder was trying to squeeze a quarter out of the brick and give us a brick that wasn't what we ordered, and we said no. The Citizens of Greenfield ordered this brick, it matches everything, and twice they came out with separate samples, and twice the color was off and the texture was off. So we're not going to accept substandard on it. You're getting the full Monty Lucas stuff. We were going to do a site visit today, but due to the heat, we canceled it. Site visits are not public meetings. You cannot deliberate in site visits. So pursuant to the open meeting law, and that's for insurance reasons. So we will reschedule that probably in either 2, 3, 4 weeks, sometime maybe when it's a little cool.
So we didn't actually vote for this order?
I like to vote because the purchasing agent wants us to vote all of the purchase orders. I think it would be good to vote a reverse. So,
I will make that motion to
Okay.
reverse the session.
Moved and seconded?
Sorry, who seconded?
One of us. Either one of us. Third and... All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Dan.
I'm not done.
Oh,
So, as of today, we still have a significant amount of money in the contingency, which is on, 11.1% of the budget. So,
And so will this 149,000 or whatever it was go back into the contingency?
no,
Where
it
will
never
that-
came out of the contingency. It'll
Okay.
go back into FF&E where it came out of.
Okay.
Okay. Of course, if we don't spend all the FF&E, then that will go into. If we overspend the FF&E, we'll have to come and get it.
Got it.
Right? Are you good?
yeah, I'm good. You good?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. We have a vote to approve payment of $667,401.41 to DA Sullivan. You have the summary, just emailed out. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
What did you say it was?
$667,401.41.
That's correct. Just wanted to double check. I thought you said 601.
I wrote it down since I didn't.
I thought when
since
you
I don't
said-
bring my glasses with me.
I thought you said 601.
So if there's no questions, all in favor? Opposed?
We tried to get these out to you before the
You
meeting.
did, thank you. I looked at it,
I want
read
you
it
to
all,
know.
I understood it.
I want you to know that I called the president of DA Sullivan and told him if I didn't have it within an hour, that we were not going to pay him this month. Pursuant to the Fern rule.
And I want you to know that I was at a construction meeting, and that same issue was raised, about the firm.
The Fern
The
Room.
Fern rule.
I do like to review.
And so that
Well, that's your job, and I'm thrilled that you're looking into the detail, and I'm glad that you're happy with what you see.
Dana, will we need you to do that for next month, because I think we meet on September 1st.
Can we make it the 8th?
Which is real difficult for DA Sullivan to get us there.
Yeah, 'cause-
Before.
Yeah, that's tough. Can we make it?
first Thursday of the month, right?
Yeah,
Is
is
that
that
the
the
first?
Can we make the 8th?
We have fire station right in.
The 8th?
Because they've got the second.
We're the
We've got
second
the first,
Thursday.
they've got the second.
Can we change it to a different day? I mean, we won't get the.
Why don't we look at the schedule, because I don't want to start throwing dates out.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what my
and the fire
schedule is.
station may not be, but
I was gonna say, why would you be meeting if you're in Biddy?
I don't know.
So why don't we figure that out when we can get it, if Solly can't get it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll work that out.
Yeah.
And if I don't come and Carol doesn't come, that's okay.
That's
So-
fair. And-
We'll look into it. So I have it's not on the agenda, I have a note to talk about. So we've had a request actually, and Don happens to be here, to have our meetings streamed or recorded. I think it's great that we have a member of the public that does it, but if, there are meetings that are streamed, by GCTV, like the council and school committee, numerous other meetings that GCTV does. There are meetings that are still hybrid meetings, or they're done because they have, we've seen in today's paper, town council still has subcommittee meetings online, which what we've done in the past, we did in the past when all the meetings were streamed because all of us were online. There is the technology that works in this room sometimes. Personally, I have absolutely no problem streaming a meeting and having, in theory, having it done. As chair of the building committee, I'm putting out there to anybody on the committee or in the public who wants to come to the senior center. It looks like we are going to be able to have our meetings here now, go moving forward, which is better for parking and a lot of other reasons. It's a little cooler here too. But it would have to be set up. And so I'm opening that up to the committee. One, if you want to have them, if we want to do it, and two, how we would do it if we did. Again, personally, I have no problem doing it. Have no problem with having the meeting streamed.
Are you basically asking for someone to take ownership and deal with it?
Yes.
Yes,
I think that's what it
I
sounds
think
like.
so. Are you asking to do hybrid or to
I'm asking
ask
for them to be
CCTV to stream?
GCTV knows they can stream the meeting here, but they've never reached out. So I don't think they'd be interested in doing it. We shouldn't have to ask them to do it. They know that we're here. In my opinion, and again, this is a committee decision, there's a difference between a stream meeting and a hybrid meeting.
Right.
A hybrid meeting means you can participate by not being here. This committee has chosen to have meetings in person. When you start doing hybrid meetings, it gives people an excuse not to show up. That's all, and I sit on a lot of committees, both public and private, and that's the general consensus. You're either all online or you're all in person, because what happens now there are circumstances where you do have hybrid for a member who can't be here because they're sick, can't be here because that's pretty much always been the number one reason. Prior to before you had meetings that were on video, you did have meetings that were done versus conference call, and that was clear. When that technology first started, you did not make that. You didn't do that as a convenience to people so that they could say, "I don't feel like driving down to that meeting." You did it so, well, they're sick and they can't be here. Extenuating circumstances. That's my opinion of how we operate in government right now. We've chosen to have these meetings in person. If you can't be here in person because you just choose not to, or you have other commitments, I have other commitments too, but I choose to be here and adjust my schedule. Then I say, well, then you're not here. So my opinion would be that we have them streamed. If someone knows how to do that with this technology, I don't. Not to say that I couldn't figure it out, because I know that I could. But, when I'm leaving my office at 4 o'clock, 5 after 4 as it is, and that's the way it's going to be. If someone wants to take that on, stream away.
And I think a lot of us work full time, so we work, we're adjusting our
Yeah,
schedules
just
to
getting
work
here.
to get here. Yeah.
So as far as now, this would be again more streaming for public the ability for the public to view meetings. Now, having said again on public committees since 1999, there used to only be two that were ever on, and that was the town council and even the school committee. But then it was town council select board, and then it was town council school committee select board. It was one of the reasons why people were against having a mayor, because there's no cameras in the mayor's office, and most of the decisions are made there. But it's how we want to handle it.
I got a town council
So
here.
if we had somebody take,
We're the only one in the city, in the state.
But the
20
public can come.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
27,000
You gotta make room.
doesn't exist anywhere else.
I was gonna say, never heard of that.
We were the only ones. Yeah.
okay, so if we were to take on the responsibility of the equipment here, that would solely be for hybrid.
That would solely be for streaming.
Who would stream that? GCTV?
It can be streamed, it can be videoed and sent to GCTV. I assume it probably can be still done through the city's WebEx account, just not I'm not going to sit and
But
have
that would make it
participate.
hybrid. I think that
It's only hybrid if the chair recognizes the person on the other end.
I see.
Can I ask a question though? Are we talking about live streaming or recording
It can,
for future use?
it depends on the technology, which I'm not aware of. I assume based on council meetings is that, well, that's GCTV. So I don't want to assume. And school committee, do they meet here? I don't know where school committee meets.
Yes.
Those are all GCTV meetings.
Right.
They're not WebEx.
Really, so this equipment that the city owns in this building would allow us to do hybrid. And that's the focus of the equipment that the town owns.
I don't know what it would allow us to
I'm
do.
telling you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, to your point,
But
you
I don't
can do
know.
hybrid where it's just,
It's only hybrid if the chair recognizes the person on the other side.
right,
Otherwise, now you're just streaming.
Yeah.
right, because people can log into the WebEx or.
And they can
the
watch.
Zoom and they can watch,
Right.
but, right. Yeah.
So, I think there's two issues. One is the public's ability to see what we do.
Right.
And the other issue is the public's ability to participate in what we do. We don't even have public comment now on the agenda, so even if the public were to come, they would just be listening. Whether they listen to or have the opportunity to see it live or later shouldn't, it would actually be better that if it would just be available to the public, not so much live, but it would be recorded somewhere that the public could access. It used to be with all meetings, when we were all Zoom, it was done through TV.
Yeah,
And
it was a giant. We just did that to help you guys so we didn't lose.
yeah, at the time, the city was, when Dan agreed to do it, the city wasn't equipped to do it, so it was our only choice. So I would think, what my suggestion would be, for this discussion, we focus on a way to get it recorded somehow, and then how would we make that recording accessible to the public? I don't know how that.
Why don't we do this? I will take it back and talk to Fernando, since he's not here, to find out what it entails and what we can do.
Sounds good.
So we didn't did you hear a volunteer?
I did.
I did.
I think I heard a volunteer.
And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I know. I figured. And I know you were looking at me. I will take that upon myself, Chairman.
You
And
She
I will come back next meeting with a recommendation.
Got it. All right.
Is that fair?
Thank you.
And with regard to what date the next meeting will be, we'll work that out. It doesn't have to be a Thursday.
No, it's just that's Labor Day week. So
Right.
It's the first, and then the following week is Labor Day week.
Yeah, that's a
Fair
terrible day.
It's also, one of the reasons why I think it was Thursdays is because we had a hard time finding
Yeah.
a place to have a meeting.
Right.
And even the time, 4 o'clock was a time because you couldn't have it at 5, 6, or 7, because 5, 6, or 7 was always, the libraries didn't have meeting space. One of the reasons that it had difficult is because you couldn't, it is difficult to consistently find space on a set day, at a set time,
Yeah.
month after month after month. It's always been a problem. And getting in and out of City Hall after a certain hour becomes problematic too. So, all right, you'll figure that out. I can't do it. Oh, well, is there anything else from the committee? If not, I would take a motion to adjourn
So moved.
in a second. But I'm saying it slow because, we don't need a roll call anymore. That's all. That's when we did meetings online.
You
We
just
needed to have
need, you
everything
just
with
need
roll
to
call.
tell me who did it.
I moved to.
Amy moved to adjourn.
Right?
All in favor?
Everyone seconded.
And everyone voted all
I'm
in favor?
writing that in the minutes.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you, everyone. I look forward to giving you guys a tour. You guys are going to be amazed. By the way, if you go down to Hope and Olive
From that time.
and you look up, you can see right through Lyman.
So cool.
It is unbelievable. It's gonna be so
I
spectacular.
know,
The light that comes in the monitors and the way it shines through all of the little doodads is awesome.
Is the name for the grand stairway or those stairs in the living
No,
room?
those are decorative, they'll go in last, we don't own them. The stairway in the back
Yeah, so the back one.
is in with all the railings and it's safe and,
And the open, on the second floor to downstairs, those railings are down.
I actually only got my easy.
There's wood up there.
I didn't order.
It is